assessments that are available in Illinois WorkNet. And just to get started, if you haven't had a chance to do so already, you can download the files from the lower left-hand corner. Those will be files that we'll be using today. If you have any questions at any time, go ahead and enter them into the chat pod. We have Chelsea Jones with us today that can answer your questions. And if we need to have further discussion on it, we'll make sure we circle back and touch base on those. You can also, if you'd like to have a larger look at the PowerPoint that is showing on your screen, you can click on the full screen button, and that will make the image larger, and you just click on full screen again, and it takes it back to its original size. So let's go ahead and get started. Some of the things we're going to talk about today, we're going to take a look at some quick background information. We're going to take a look at the nachdi assessment and how you can access it, and then we're also going to take a look at some other work readiness resources that are available in WorkNet. We have several types of resources that are available. We have resources that are self-access tools. If many of you are probably already aware of some of these with the pre-assessment, the interest profiles, the activities, and also the post-assessment. And then we have some that are not self-access, such as the observational assessment, the nachdi 21st Century Skills Assessment, and the worksite evaluation. So these assessments are either completed by a workforce partner or an employer, or it requires a workforce partner to provide access to the assessment. And specifically, that is the nachdi 21st Century Skills Assessment, which is what we're going to take a look at. Some questions that have been coming up recently include, what is nachdi? What is the 21st Century Skills Assessment? So we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to take a look at, how this could be used with suitability. And also, we're going to take a look at how you access the nachdi assessment. Now, nachdi, one of the reasons why nachdi was selected is they are well known in the industry for providing high-quality occupational competency assessments. They have many years of experience and lots of different assessments to choose from. And we, in particular, provide the 21st Century Skills Assessment through Illinois WorkNet. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about nachdi, there's the URL so you can learn a little bit more about nachdi. We are happy to be able to provide the 21st Century Skills Assessment free to our Illinois WorkNet partners. It is an assessment that you normally have to pay for, but we can offer that to you through Illinois WorkNet for free. It is a non-occupation specific, multiple choice, 100-question online assessment, and it is provided in a proctored environment. We do have it set up so that you can order the nachdi 21st Century Skills in several different sessions. We know that your programs are different, and the amount of time that you have available at any given time, with your customers, it varies across partner to partner. So you have the flexibility to order it either in one session, 2 sessions, or 3 sessions. It is a timed assessment, and so if you have, the one session, you have up to 2 hours to complete the assessment online. There is the text-to-speech option, and all this is accessible through Illinois WorkNet. So from the point of the workforce partner ordering the assessments for free through Illinois WorkNet, and distributing that information so that your customers can access the nachdi assessment through Illinois WorkNet. And the benefit to this is that their scores are saved within their account. So they'll be able to see their assessment scores along with any other types of assessments that we offer through Illinois WorkNet, as well as you will be able to see their assessment scores. Once they successfully complete the nachdi assessment, they will be able to print the certificate the nachdi certificate. So that's a nice feature to be able to have for them. And they can have an unlimited number of attempts for completing the assessment. They do, ask that it would be, a time period in between those, so it's not right back to back, but that is an option. Now, one of the questions is, well, how can we use this for suitability determination? Well, you can see here that these are the competencies that are covered within the nachdi 21st Century Skills Assessment. And I know that within your suitability piece that you'll have the tape, so you can cover the reading and math and so forth with the tape. But if you want to, you take a look to see if these applicants have some of the work readiness skills already that are going to help them in an accelerated training program. Because if they don't have some of these skills, you could also use this information to help with referring them to make referrals on helping them with developing some of these skills. Now, we do get the question quite a bit, well, what's the difference between nachdi and the ACT assessment? So you will, this is part of one of the files that's in the lower left-hand corner that you can download. This is the flyer from nachdi, and they've done a comparison so you can see exactly for each of these areas which one is, the blue stars show the, let me zoom in a little bit here. So you can see that the blue stars are the ACT and the N stars are the nachdi. You can see that with the nachdi, there is one test as opposed to the difference when comparing it would be 3 tests based on, for the ACT, based on math, literacy, and so forth. So those are probably the significant difference is the 1 test versus the 3 tests. Also, you can see the different areas that are covered with the nachdi versus the ACT, so you can use that information to make your decision on what you would like to use. Okay, let me go down to our next slide. Oops, I'm ahead of myself here. The nice thing about having the nachdi assessment in Illinois WorkNet is that you just simply have to remember one login, one place to go to find all these tools. So you can access the nachdi assessment ordering tool through your Workforce Partner account. Now, if you don't have an Illinois WorkNet Workforce Partner account already, don't worry, because at the end of the PowerPoint, we have instructions for getting you set up as an Illinois WorkNet partner and accessing your account. Now, if you are a case manager in IWDS, then you automatically have an Illinois WorkNet account. It was automatically set up for you whenever you were entered into IWDS. So whenever you can just simply log into your account and you click on My Tools, and you would select the nachdi assessment, and then you will go into, go down to the next page, to a page where you can order the assessment. So if this is the first time that your organization has gone through this process, you'll see the first step, and the first step is to request to become a nachdi 21st Century testing location. And then whenever you, if you are an organization administrator, then you can go ahead and agree to the terms of use, and then you'll be able to start using that, start ordering the nachdi assessments for your location. Now, if you are not an organization administrator, then it'll provide you with some instructions on who to contact so that you can, get set up to be able to order the nachdi 21st Century Skills Test. If your site is already set up, then you will see a link up here, and you just simply click on it and read the terms of use and agree to them, and then you will be able to start ordering the assessments immediately. We do have instructions that are embedded into this page, so we have specific details on ordering the assessment, and that when you come down here, you can see that we have, where you can identify the number of sessions that you would like to include or to use for these assessments. You can identify whether this is a youth, a dislocated worker, adult, and that way, it's not that you would get a different assessment, but that way, whenever you look at the data, you can take a look and compare apples to apples, because we would make the assumption that a person with many years of work experience is going to score much higher than a person that has no work experience. Again, select speech to order. You select the quantity that you're going to need, and then you can set up a passcode, and that can be very simple. For example, I could just simply use NT72513. So I have my initials and the date. Now, whenever you use a passcode, it's not something that each individual has to have a different passcode. It's you, for example, you've ordered 30 assessments, and so up to 3 people can enter this passcode and access the assessment, and it'll go directly, they'll be able to directly get into the assessment. And then also you enter your testing date, and then you just request the assessment. And I see that Robin had a question. Is the nachdi assessment nationally recognized? And yes. Okay. Now, so once you complete your order, then what you can do is once you complete the order, at the top you'll see that there's an order confirmation in a great big green box, and it'll let you know that your order was successful. And then they will print off, there will be a link so you can print off a sheet with business card size instructions for your customers. Now, if you are in a maybe like a computer lab, then and you want everybody to log in, at the same time, that would be great. You can just simply project this up on the screen as a great big, like we see it here, so that they can just see that they have to go to this URL. They will they will already have an Illinois WorkNet account because they create an Illinois WorkNet account or log into their Illinois WorkNet account when they complete their application. So they log into their Illinois WorkNet account, and then they enter the passcode that whatever you create. So for my example with the previous slide, it would just be NT72513. And they just simply enter that passcode, and then they are directed into the assessment. Once they complete the assessment, then they will get their score, and they'll receive a summary immediately after the test. But the official scores, once they're processed by nachdi, will be available within 48 hours. And then they'll be able to, if they successfully complete the nachdi certificate, they'll be able to download their nachdi certificate. Now, an individual can view their assessment scores. They simply log into their Illinois WorkNet account, and along the top of the page, you'll see their tabs, and one of the tabs says results. They can click on their results. They can take a look at their nachdi assessment. If they have more than one nachdi assessment, they select the date of their assessment. This is just an example of what it might look like. It has scores of 0 because I don't want to use someone's actual assessment. This is for demonstration purposes. But they have each competency area broken out, and then they can look at their score for each of those areas. And then if say I didn't do very well on my listening and my speaking skills, then I can click Learn More, and it takes you to the resource within Illinois WorkNet that can help you with that particular skill. So this is linked to our LMI skills wheel, employability skills wheel, which we'll take a look at that in a little bit. As a workforce partner, you will be able to view their nachdi assessment scores either through customer groups if you're used to using the customer groups, but you'll also be able to view it through the ATIM tools. Okay. So the other question that has been coming up is, well, what other assessments does Online WorkNet already have for free that we can use for either suitability or part of the step one and the expanded bridge plan? So we have some resources that are available here, and let's go ahead and we're going to start taking a look at the career and interest profiles. Many of you use these already, so that's wonderful. But for those that are new to this, whenever an individual logs into their account, at the top they'll see their tabs. When they click on the Skills tab, they have the option of taking one of our skills and interest inventories. And the one that we think that would be of particular interest to you would be the Career Cluster Interest Inventory. So this kind of gives an overview and gives you just a brief look of what these would look like. But the career cluster area, we have down, it takes, depending on the person, we have the duration between 5 and 25 minutes. You can assume, at least 10, 15 minutes. And it depends on how much time, a person wants to really think about each of the tasks that are listed. So for each task, you can identify if you like it very much, if you just like it, you don't like it, not sure, or you definitely just don't like that task at all. And what you get is a listing of, they take the career clusters, and they give you kind of the graphical representation. So, for example, for this and these results, you can see that my biggest, I scored highest in manufacturing. So, that's where my interests lie. So you can see these results again through either your customer group or through your ATIM tools. You will be able to see them through that. So that's a tool that you can use. We also have an Activities tab, and on the Activities tab, you can access the pre-assessment, which is like a study guide, and it can be used, typically used for helping a person prepare for their nachdi assessment, or it also includes some of the information that's covered in these activities and then the post-assessment. So that's your pre-assessment study guide. It's optional, one-time assessment, 54 multiple choice questions. Then we have our work readiness activities. These are an online activity. You can print them out, but if you do them online, then you can save your activity results within the LMI WorkNet account, and you'll be able to view those as well. And then we have a post-assessment, which has an unlimited number of attempts, and it's 20 questions, and it includes the information that was covered in these different activities. And once you successfully complete the post-assessment by earning the score of 70% or higher, then you can print the LMI WorkNet Certificate of Completion. Now, each of these, I had mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the nachdi assessment, but also our observational assessment and the worksite evaluation and our assessments are linked back to our skills wheel. One of the things that I wanted to point out with the skills wheel is that we have, when we talk about the workplace skills, we wanted to recognize, identify the fact that, your workplace skills are not just your academic and your technical, but includes soft skills. And so I do want to stress that, this skills wheel is, the focus of this skills wheel is in soft skills. I don't want to give the impression that the soft skills are more important than the academic or the technical skills at all. It's just that that is what the focus is for this particular wheel. In the center, there is an image of, a person, a couple people climbing up a rock wall, and we talk about how, your different skills are kind of like, more about, instead of climbing up a ladder to get to your goal, it's more about like climbing up a rock wall, because it's not always just, straight up and down. There's different variables and how your skills play into that. And so that's in the center of the wheel. And then for each of these areas, there's a lot of information in here, but we put it together in a graphical display so that it doesn't, first of all, scare anybody off, because there's, by reading that, just a ton of text. But we wanted to take the different national and state standards and put them together, and we did a crosswalk, and we put them in the different categories that are within each of these areas. And what we wanted to do is provide a way to kind of like spark a person's interest. So first of all, with the first page, they can go to this page, and it has a scenario. So like, what would you do in this situation? Plus, we have gone to different employers and have them provide us with their comments on that particular skill set and why it's important to them. So the different career areas that were covered with these videos covered the STEM areas. And so you can take a look at those videos, and you'll see there's kind of some overlap on the different topics. But again, it's to expose people of the different types of occupations that are out there, as well as to show that, these are soft skills, and they're important no matter what area you go into. Then we also have the next step, which is the listing of skills and the definitions for the skills, as well as a listing of related resources that could help a person learn more about that skill and build those skills. And then the final part of each of these sections is a next step. So, these are your soft skills. These are things that you can do on a daily basis. You can work on them every day, and we want them to recognize that they have these skills and that they should use those skills to help market themselves, whether it's in their resume, in their interview, and so forth. And you can access the skills wheel by just going to illinoisworknet.com, going to prepare, and it's under workplace skills. Or we also have a short URL, which is illinoisworknet.com/skills. Okay. So, please, if you have any questions, please go ahead and enter them into the chat. I've gone over this pretty quickly, but I wanted to give you an overview of the different type of resources that are available to you in Illinois WorkNet. So if you don't already have your Illinois WorkNet Workforce Partner account, you can get started today. You just go to illinoisworknet.com and select the Workforce Partner link in the gray bar. And as I mentioned before, if you're a case manager in IWDS, you already have an Illinois WorkNet account. And if you need some assistance with accessing that account, just let us know. You can always email info@illinoisworknet.com. But it would probably be just as easy for you to use the password recovery link that's available whenever you log into, or whenever you go to log into your account. Okay. So if you are setting up, if you know you don't have an Illinois WorkNet Workforce Partner account, you can, again, go to the Workforce Partner pathway, and then what you're going to do first is check to see if your location is already a partner within Illinois WorkNet. And if it is, wonderful. You just simply go ahead and set up your account. If your location is not a partner, then you'll go on to step 2, which is to submit a request to become a partner site. And whenever you do this, it not only creates a partner site request, but it also sets up your account at the same time. So once we receive those notifications that we have a new account and we review that information, then we will approve it, and once it is approved, then you have access to the tools and resources that are available through the Workforce Partner Pathway. We also have quite a few resources, actually a whole lot of resources, that are available to you even whenever you're not logged into your Workforce Partner account. You just simply go to the Workforce and Education Partner Pathway, and you'll see those. We also have tutorials that are available on the Workforce Partner Pathway that go over, if you're interested in using customer groups, or if you're interested in learning more about, accessing the nachdi or the observational or the worksite evaluation. Those are available as well. We have some short video series on those. So, are there any other questions? Well, if not, then again, if you think of something later on, or if you are having trouble with anything, just go ahead and send an email to info@lmiworknet.com. And thank you very much for joining us today. Everybody have a great day.